Welcome to DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, so let's get started. All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk, and I'm Chris Detzel, and today's special guest is Paul Bucks. Paul, how are you?
Doing good, Chris. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. We did a little pre-show, and you mentioned you had a beer, so I'm a little jealous. I didn't grab a beer, but that's the best time is to have a talk with the beer.
I can say we're not doing this in the morning, so at least no one out there
Yep.
thinks I'm having like the morning beer. But yeah, it is good evening beer. Work is over. Time to relax a little bit.
Yeah, the morning beer, it's always hard. I rarely, on some of these races, when they have a beer at 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever drinks, I'm like, man, I have a hard time drinking a beer after at 8 a.m. no matter when.
Sadly, probably don't, but I want to make sure I try to have a hard time. I do enjoy a good beer after a race for sure.
Teach their own, Paul.
That's right.
I was talking to Marcus and Jody, the guys that kind of run the Dallas Marathon, or at least race directors and things like that. And they mentioned your name, and I did some slight research background on you, and you have quite the amazing background and a couple of things that we'll get into. We'll get into your story around how you started running, what that means. But you've done that kind of this 7 continents in 7 days around the world kind of thing. You even wrote a book about it. You did that back in 2023, but you also did it again recently, like a week ago. And so we'll get into that, which is extremely impressive. And then you're also on the board of the Dallas White Rock Marathon. I think you've been doing that for some time, and we'll have a special thing we'll talk about with the Dallas Marathon around the elite racers, I think and you can give us background on that kind of stuff. But Paul, before we start all of that, and don't get me wrong, man, I am super excited. I don't even know where to start almost, but let's start from the beginning and
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your running journey and kind of where you started.
No, absolutely. So, yeah, I started running really as a kid, but nothing ever serious. My parents, truly at age 3 was my first Dallas turkey trot, and it was tradition. I think I missed 2 Dallas turkey trots until I was like 35 years old.
Wow.
Family tradition, loved it.
That's all.
And really the only reason we stopped is because having kids, it took us longer to get to the starting line of the race
Sure does.
because of how packed it was than it did to actually run the race.
Yeah.
Absolutely just love. In fact, I'll be doing the Waxahatchee turkey trot on Thursday. Long story short, we used to do turkey trots. That was about it. I played tennis in high school and I played tennis at small school in college. And it didn't really start running until I was 30 years old. I woke up one day, actually on Thanksgiving Day, decided that I felt like I was out of shape. I signed up for the Oklahoma City Marathon that day.
Wow.
And those were, if I sign up for something, then I'm gonna train for it. And I always believe there's 2 different types of marathoners. There's the ones that finish their first one and they say, glad I did it. I never want to do it again. And then there's
Yeah.
the others that say, I'm glad I did it. When's the next one? I was that person. So it steamrolled since. I've done a lot of races since then.
So when you first did your first marathon, how did you do? And you mentioned you trained. What did that look like? The whole training and things like that?
Yeah. So I really found Hal Higdon's online training. I don't even know which one, like intermediate 2 or something that I just felt like I could probably do. And I followed it to a T. Like I'm always was like the most coachable person. So if
Yeah.
it said run
Well,
90 seconds slower, I was probably within 89 to 91 seconds slower on my paces. And I just followed it. I was aiming for a sub 330 for no other reason than my cousin, my very best friend, his first marathon, he did a 330 and I just knew I had to beat him.
wow.
So
That's
I
pretty
did a
impressive for a
320.
first marathon.
It was
did
a
a
good first one. I did a 329 and change and was happy as could be.
You're not competitive or anything, huh?
Not at all. No, not at all. It's always about winning, sadly.
Yeah. I tell people, whatever motivates you to keep going and doing those kinds of things, in general, most of us, most people on here, no matter how fast they've been, they're probably not going to be elite and they're not going to get paid to do this for a living. So you're going to have some internal motivation to go out and, hey, maybe I can PR or maybe I can beat my cousin or a friend or what. I love it. I like the competition.
Fan. I'm never going to be the fastest, and I'm way okay with that. I've never aimed for that. I aim for what I think is possible. And I also enjoy racing like a couple of races a year, but I enjoy running a lot of races a year that are just for fun, not racing, not carrying.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to have both. But yeah, no one's going to pay me for this mess. I'll never be that speed, and I'm much too old to consider it now.
My thinking is that I've been running probably for, I don't know, 15 years or something like that, just very consistently. And, how now it's like I'm 50 years old and I would just love to kind of continue to run at a high level. And if I get slower, which is going to happen at some point very soon, it's fine. I just want to still be able to go out and stay in shape and run and just hang out with my community and friends and things like that and be able to have conversations like this.
It's where my friendships are. Like I work, I have a wonderful family. How I get to hang out with my buddies, how I get to spend time with my closest friends is we go run
Yeah.
together. And so it is my community. That's one of the reasons I passionately love it.
So you decided to run this first marathon at 3:29. Pretty amazing. You really did the training to the T and then you kept going. So what kind of what would that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had our first child about 6 months after that, and training
Oh, well,
definitely went downhill for a few years. If worth it going downhill. But then I decided I wanted to try to qualify for the Boston Marathon and started aiming for that. In fact, I had just about given up running, and my closest running buddy, he qualified. And more than anything else, Chris, it just pissed me off that he qualified and I didn't. And
I love it. There it is.
found a race, and in fact, I flew up to New Jersey because I found a flat, fast race on the New Jersey shore and
Uh-huh.
qualified. And then it was one of those things where, okay, let's qualify. Okay, now let's break three, or now let's
Mm.
keep dropping that number a little bit. And that was fun. And I still enjoy aiming for certain objectives. I've done Boston. I think this year will be I'm not sure, 11th or 12th straight year to do
Nice.
Boston. So I really enjoy it. It's a fun race, but I've started adding in the longer stuff. I love ultras. Probably the 50-mile distance is my favorite
Really?
distance in the world. Yeah, because
Wow.
you just cruise, right? You hang
Yeah.
out, but you don't spend all night. Yeah, I enjoy the ultras, and the FKT world has become like my new passion and my new favorite thing to do. I love the FKT world, and that's
What's
been
that
new
FKT?
exciting.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. So fastest known time. It's a great website. If you just Google FKT, and there's
Okay.
these courses across the entire world. So like a buddy of mine and we went to Panama this year. We put our feet in the Caribbean and we ran to the Pacific.
Yeah.
It's 53 miles, and you can do it anytime you want. You show up and there's no race or anything. You just show up and go. And the FKT website has these courses everywhere in the world. I don't even know how many are on there, but you can just pick a course, go run it on your own, and you can aim for the fastest known time, or you just, like me, you just go run it.
Yeah. Well,
And so this next year, we're going to go run Hadrian's Wall, which is like across Scotland,
wow. It could be
because
chilly
why
out
not?
there and windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a
Wow.
really cool website. Yeah. And it's a way to, man, I'm all about the adventures. What can we do to go adventure when we run?
Obviously. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, let's get more into that in a minute because I'm a little bit intrigued now. So you start running the Boston Marathon, you're at your 11 in a row, which it's awesome. I get to see you this year. My wife is on her 13th in a row, I think.
It's awesome.
I just like to follow her and do podcasts now and quick hits and just hang out with people there. When I told her, I was like, you have to now qualify every year so I can go.
Absolutely.
But what's your fastest? You've hit under 3, I assume, and things like that, or
250
okay.
is fine. I've done 250 a couple of different times, once at the Fort Worth Marathon and once at Boston.
Fort Worth, like just the Fort Worth, like November or
The,
whenever.
yeah, the November one, super
Wow.
flat, right on the Trinity River Trail. And
Yeah.
I don't even, remember, maybe 4 years ago, something like that.
Okay. Andy Wang is the director of that one now.
I know the
Yeah.
name, but
Yeah, it's Andy Wang. Yeah.
yeah, it's a great race. It's a great it's never been a huge race, but it's a great race.
Yeah.
So
I've done
they do a
the
real good job with it.
20-miler or something like that before years ago. They used to have a 20-miler. So they had a
Really?
marathon, a 20-miler, and half or so. I don't remember. I don't know what they have now. But yeah, the director's pretty cool. 350, is that somewhat recent or?
I did 250 in Boston in 2023. I think
Okay.
it might have been 24, 23 or 24. I did a 254 this year in Boston. I go back and forth. So one year I'll run it hard, and then the next year I'll do a 430 and have a beer at the top of Heartbreak Hill. And
Awesome.
I really love both runs. Look, again, no one's paying me for this. And even
Yeah.
when I finished at a 250, I remember my daughter, when I got home, she's like, "So dad, what place did you get?" And I was like, 1632nd place. And she was not all that impressed. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you go to Boston for me, I don't go to Boston anything other than just either have fun or see what I have for the day.
Yeah. Look, there's so many fast people there hitting so many great times. Literally, the people in general, the people at Boston are the best of the best within their age groups, right? They just are.
Yeah.
So that's a
It's
tough one to.
so cool just running with some of those people and just, so, real quick story. I remember lining up
Yep.
my first year to do Boston. And there was this lady next to us, and she had to be, I don't know, 60 years old. And they put you in order of your bib number in Boston. And her bib number was lower than my bib. And I don't remember what I qualified with, a 301, 302, something
Pretty
like that.
fast.
And I
Yeah.
just remember thinking, what in the world is this lady? And we got talking to her, and I don't know how many she'd done, but she had gotten 10th place US female her first year to do Boston. When we got talking about it, she was so interesting. But when the race started, I never saw her again. She just took off. And
How awesome!
there's some
How
neat
awesome is
people.
that?
Yeah.
And it's not just the best of the best. Most of these people are pretty serious about their running, and I love your kind of take on it. Sometimes you're really serious, and sometimes you're just doing it for fun. I love that, and I think that's a really cool way to be. And so you've done all these marathons. You're doing Boston again, so I hope to see you there for sure.
Yeah.
What just in 2023, you also did the 7 marathons, 7 continents. You like adventure. Tell me about what led up to that and your thinking around that. I have a feeling I already know. It's just, let's sign up and do it.
In all reality, I was at a dinner for the Boston Marathon. I got invited to some John Hancock dinner like in 2017 or something like that. And they brought in Ned Pavlesi, they brought in Bill Rogers, and they had all these like elite runners up front. And then they brought in this random lady, and they were asking all about all these questions to all these runners. And then they asked this lady, they're like, "So who are you and what have you done?" And she said, "Well, I just ran 7 marathons, 7 continents in 7 days." And I can remember when she said that, thinking to myself, I will do that. That's just amazing. And it hit me. So fast forward a few years, I'm sitting on my back porch during the middle of COVID thinking, woe is me. I can't run a race right now. And so I went and found the
Yes.
website. That it just came to my mind. I found the website. I applied to run just as almost a joke to myself. I thought there's no way they'll let me in. And lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, I got an email back from the race director saying, "Hey, we'd love to have you. Here's the cost." I hadn't even talked to my wife about it yet. Yeah, because I figured they're not going to let me in. And so I got that email, and my wife is not one to have a glass of wine, but I poured her a glass of wine, just hoping that maybe
Well,
she relapse a little. And luckily, my wife's the most gracious, wonderful person in the world. She's, "Look, this is the adventure of a lifetime." Yeah, I mean, I had to wait a few years to do that one because of COVID, but
yeah.
ended up running it at the end of January, 1st of February in 2023 with the World Marathon Challenge group. And it was unbelievable. It was special in a million ways. I still communicate with that group of runners probably on a daily basis.
Oh, with the group. So
Yeah.
let's back up because I like how you just gave me the high level. Let's go a little deeper into this because I'm so interested. I've heard people do it, but never really talked to anybody that's done this. What is it like? Walk me like through kind of day one, or like you meet on a plane, you go here and you go there. I did talk to, by the way, I have spoken to the guy, a guy, I forgot his name, on the podcast last year, or early this year, I think, or late last year. And he was the first African American to do 7 continents, 7 days, and 7 marathons ever.
Really?
That's what he told me. So
That's
I believe him.
awesome.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah, tell me
Way
about
cool.
that. Huh?
Yeah, with both groups. So this year I ran with a different group, but with both groups, you have to arrive. So we all meet in Cape Town. So they have a group. It's usually somewhere between 45 and 75 runners, and we meet in Cape Town usually about 3 days before the planned start date. And the reason they have to meet early is because they don't know exactly the weather window that's going to let you into Antarctica. Antarctica's weather is vicious and it can change really quickly. And so they're watching it, and they'll have an Antarctica logistics company come speak to us. So you get there about 3 days early just to be prepared. The 2023 year, they actually scooted our race up by 9 hours, and we took off. It was crazy. We were
Well,
planning to sleep all night, and they said, "Don't go to sleep. Get to the hotel. We're going to shuttle to the airport." But anyhow, you arrive, you meet in Cape Town, you have a few meetings with the whole group. And then you take off for Antarctica. They try to make that race number one. They try to make that race number one because everything is shaped around that. You run down there in Antarctica and you can get a lucky year. Like last year, they had a lucky year. In 2023, we had an unlucky year. And in 2025, we had an unlucky year. It was just brutal, unbelievable conditions. But you run there and then you come back and you fly right back to Cape Town. It's only a 5.5 hour flight between the two.
Yeah.
And you're all on one plane and it's a chartered plane. And then you take a chartered plane from continent to continent. You sleep on the plane, you eat on the plane. People are bringing their massage pants and putting those on the plane.
That's cool.
Every day you live on the plane together. You're even like wearing your bib as you go through customs in Abu Dhabi or something like that.
That's great.
I answered it, but you go down to Antarctica, you get off the plane, run. This year we ran 10 laps on an ice runway, 2.6 or 4.2 kilometer laps on this ice runway. This year we had negative 35 Fahrenheit wind chill.
Oh man, jeez.
It was, in fact, my dad and my daughter were with me this year just for the first two races. They were in Antarctica and Cape Town.
Wow.
And they actually had to pull my daughter off the course and I got frostbite on my face. It's finally cleared up. But
wow.
Yeah, this year was pretty unbelievable.
How long does that take you to do to the Antarctica one?
It's a hard one this year. So in 2023, I'm bouncing between the two.
No, I think it's fine. I think this is fine.
Yeah. In 2023, it took me 3 hours and 53 minutes. This year, it took me 4 hours and 8 minutes.
Okay. It's not that bad.
So yeah, look, it's survival. It wasn't bad. I got third place both years in the Antarctica race. This tells you how hard it was this year. The guy who got first in Antarctica this year, I think he ran a 3:52, but he's a 2:24 marathoner.
Dang. You had a chance, actually.
He's a professional. He runs for Red Bull. He runs for On.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a chance. Of course, I'm thinking if I actually would have caught the guy, he would have just sped up. But
maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean,
so
yeah, it was brutal. Even
sounds like it.
Bad. Yeah, even 23, it was brutal. It's just those conditions are harsh.
Is there like really a winner or you get anything for that? I mean, like a bib or a trophy or something? I don't know. It's the same people right, that you're going against.
This year, I actually ended up getting first place for the week.
You did?
So I did. It was the number one guy, the professional guy. He dropped out in Abu Dhabi in race number 4. He had surgery this summer and just wasn't in quite the condition he needed to be in. And that kind of let the mere mortals race for it. I ended up having so they look at it as lowest average time for the week.
Yeah.
And so whoever has the lowest average time for the week. So 2 years ago, I finished in third. And this year I was able to take home the
Congratulations,
trophy.
man. I think it's
fun.
I think it's when you say mere mortals don't do 7 marathons, 7 days and 7 continents. I think it's there's something different about somebody like you. You know what I mean? You get third and then you got first. Something like, how do you train for that? Was it just normal marathon training or what?
It's definitely adding in back to back and multiple back to back long days. The first go around in 23, I would try to do 2 long days in the middle of the week and like semi long days because I have a job, I have families.
Yeah.
Something like 12 to 15 miles back to back on Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on Saturday, Sunday, I'd try to throw in like a 2 hour, 3 hour or 2.5 hour and a 3 hour or double marathon, just something to really beef up those miles. I was running longer 4 days a week and then running really short, probably 2 days of resting. This year was way different because I was the assistant volunteer cross country coach at my kid's school. It's the best position ever. It's assistant, it's volunteer, so they can't require anything of you. But
that's you see the kind of guy who likes to go all in.
Yeah. So I was there. I definitely put in the time, but it really did some crazy stuff to the training because I love this cross country team. They're wonderful, but a lot of them are brand new runners. So there's people that I'm running with and we're running like 10 or 11 minute paces. And then we might throw in a 6-minute mile if I rode the first guy. And so this year the training was all wonky and messed up, but it just came together.
That's impressive. Out of those 7 marathons, which one kind of stands out the most? Is it Antarctica because it was so cold and you got frostbite, or is there another one that, might stand out?
Yeah, so it's funny because they really are also different. So Antarctica definitely stands out because it's truly that brutal. It was just unbelievably brutal. But then Perth, Australia is beautiful. The people are great. The setup is great. You run along this Swan River and it's gorgeous. Abu Dhabi this time, it was Dubai last time, but that
Mm,
United Arab Emirates is just really cool.
yeah,
This time we ran in Colombia for South America. Last time we ran in Brazil. And that one stands out because it's just horrible. It's so humid. It's just 95% humidity and it's the second to last race. So it's not even that exciting because you're just waiting. And then Miami is the last race both times. And Miami's special because usually of the 50, 60, 70 runners, a lot of them have family and friends.
a lot
And
easier.
yeah. And then this year they actually videoed a live feed via Twitch for all the races, which is really funny because then when you're running Miami, all the family members of all these other runners knew you. And
That's funny.
like you're running along, and they're like, oh,
That's great.
that made it a lot of fun just because then you get to interact with people. And so Miami's very special because it's the last one. And it's really where it's just a big celebration.
That's pretty cool, man. Miami, I'm sure it was warm there.
It was warm. It wasn't horrible. I'm trying to think. Miami, we ran Miami just this past Friday, and it was probably 75 when I finished the race. Perth was 95 degrees the other day. So it's all relative at that point. Yeah. So when we were in Antarctica and then we were in Perth, it was like 120-degree difference between one day of running. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gotta like mess up your body a little bit.
Man, it does. Some of it, I'm really convinced that your mind doesn't allow your body to get messed up too much because your mind's suck it up. You're about to run another one.
Yeah.
All people are asked, what about jet lag? You don't feel jet lag because you're not on a continent long enough to like
Yeah.
adjust to the time anyhow.
That's so interesting.
So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough race, but for a week, all you do is eat, sleep, and run.
How cool is that? I like it, man. I love it.
It's run camp. Like it's an adult run camp. It's relationships and friendships that I'll keep forever. Last year I flew to Luxembourg to run with a buddy that I ran the 2023 event with. Why? Because he's a close friend now and we keep up.
Yeah, my wife and I do, I wouldn't say that kind of stuff, but there's this race, I think this year was last year, or last year was last year, maybe it's this one. But anyways, it's 120 miles in 6 days, 20,000 feet of gain. It's in Colorado. And you go from one place to another every single day. And you run, it could be a 25 miler one day, 13 miles the next day. It's all in general. There's a 13 miler that was straight up a mountain. It started out in Leadville. And so 7 or 8 miles is taking you literally an hour or so to walk up a mile. You know what I mean? And so,
Yes.
just 'cause it's not 25 miles that day. But we've done several things like that. And to me, it's just fun. It's adventurous. It's not necessarily about the speed per se. It can be to some degree, but
Yeah.
in that time it wasn't because we live in Dallas and this is Colorado. We're like, let's just do the best we can, because we're both pretty fast, but we knew we didn't have a chance. So I love that.
Part of the reason I do this is I want my daughters to adventure.
Yeah.
I got to take my daughter to Antarctica last week and
How old is she?
she's 15.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and the coolest thing about this, don't get me wrong, I love the medal. Like you come across that Dallas finish line and you get handed that medal, you've worked your
100%.
butt off for that medal. And if it's your
Yeah.
first one, like I love watching the elites. That's awesome. But honestly, the best people coming across the finish are the first timers because there's just this rare joy there. But the medals are cool. But on the other side of it, you get to a point where you're like, man, I just want to adventure. And
Yeah.
whether that's running across Panama or running 7 marathons or running up a mountain starting at Leadville or just what can your body do? What people can you meet? You get to meet people from all across the world doing these crazy things who are like-minded like you, who just want to push their bodies and enjoy the world.
100%, man. I love it. Now, do you run with a community at all, or have you run like in one of these running groups or anything? Or
Yeah, so Waxahatchee Running Club it still is a huge thing, but it got so big that it got splinter groups.
yeah,
And then Midlothian Running Club down the street, I have a lot of good buddies. For the most part, I've got about 5 buddies I run with here in Waxahatchee, and we probably run together on average, which are quite a week. And then some weeks it's 3 or 4 times, some weeks it's once. But I've got about 5 buddies I run with here in town. And then, yeah, if I'm in Dallas, I'll reach out to a friend or two and try to meet up and go run. But yeah, for the most part, it's about 5 guys here in town that I run with a lot, and they're my closest
Cool.
friends.
yeah. And I think that I tell people all the time, Community is key at the end of the day whenever you're thinking about like continuous running and yeah, because nobody wants to do it all the time by themselves. You have to do a lot of miles on your own in general, especially like the kind of training you've been doing. And if you're doing 30, 40, 50, whatever miles or more, you're going to have to do a lot alone. But there's nothing better than running with a community, your 20 miler on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, or your fast speed stuff. Because speed stuff is hard. Who wants to do that by themselves all the time?
Yeah, and I'm 45 years old, so it's not like I'm not out there trying to win anything. I'm not, and I'm not fast enough to keep up with these elites that we'll talk about. I'm not. And so for me, it really is about the community. It's about spending time with people I love, people that love me. It's about pushing my body, adventuring. Yeah, I still want to try and go fast just because I enjoy pushing my body at times. Now the community's everything.
You're pretty fast, man. I think that I interview a lot of people that maybe it's true, like 14, 10, whatever years ago. I don't remember so many people running under 3-hour marathons. I just don't remember that many people doing it. And I'm not saying they never did it, but it was like, oh, wow. And now it feels, and maybe it's just the community I hang out with or talk to and things like that. I feel like everybody's hitting under 3 hours.
Like, look at the qualification times for Boston and things like that. It's just wacky how fast it's getting. And running's popular, right? Running's so popular right now. And this one runner loves another runner. It doesn't care how fast they are.
Yeah.
One of my close friends just did their first ever marathon. They ran New York City. Their goal was a 13-minute mile. And I was just pumped to follow them the whole entire way. Because you and I both know it doesn't hurt less to go faster and it doesn't hurt less to go slower. It just hurts and you're pushing yourself and it's so cool.
Look, I remember pacing a marathon once and the pace was 4:30, whatever 4:30 was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
For me, it was being out on my feet for 4 hours and 30 minutes was hard. And it got hot and all this other stuff. And it's hard no matter what. And those guys, that's their pace. And so for them, it's really hard and it's doubly hard because they're actually out there for that time. I think like it was hard for me.
26 miles is 26 miles. Yeah. But it doesn't get shorter. I think I've done 75 marathons or longer now.
Well,
and I always tell people, say, look, the beauty of doing that many is what's going to hurt. The downside is you never know at which mile it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It could start hurting at mile 8. That's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
And it could start at 22 and you're like, I got this.
That's right. I remember my PR not so long ago on a downhill half marathon. And mile 5, I felt it in my legs. And I was like, this is going to be rough. And in that case, it was more of mind over matter. I've been doing the miles. I've been training. I knew that from there on it was going to be hard, but I still had to push down the mountain, and it was so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
And to me, it's you don't know. Like I thought mile 10 is going to really hurt. No, mile 5 is starting hurting.
And it's one of those where you're like, I can stop and there's nothing wrong. People, hey, sure. I'd always argue if you haven't walked in a marathon, you probably just haven't done enough of them yet.
Sure.
And if you haven't been broken yet, then, but sometimes you're able to push through it and sometimes you're not able to push through it. And cool.
That's right.
Go do another one.
So you mentioned that you've done some 50 milers and other ultras. Talk a little bit about that and how you got into that. It must be the adventure thing that, hey, look, 7 marathons, 7 days and 7 continents not enough. What else can I do?
So in reality, one of my really close friend buddies, one of the 5 guys I run with here, the one that I've run with the very most, name's Matt Curtis. Matt and I were running one day just around town. We had a 20 miler and I just said, man, we ought to go do like a 50 mile. We'd both been running 7 or 8 marathons at this point. I said, let's do a 50 mile. And so we put on our own Waxahatchee, Paul and Matt 50 mile thing.
Sweet.
I even went to the local trophy shop and had 2 tiny little medals made. They were like,
I love it.
Like the size of 2 quarters put together just for fun. And so we invited some other friends out and just said, hey, if y'all want to run the whole thing with us, run part of it with us, whatever, but we're going to run 50 miles. And it was in June of 2015 we did this. Okay. And so
you've been doing this for a while.
Been doing it for a little while. And we finished it and both of us just loved it. And in fact, we even started our own ultra after that. This year will be the 10th year. So we do a race called the Hatchee 50. And we had about 500 runners. And we put on a 50 mile. We put on a ruck. This year's a ruck.
Oh, you did?
And then a marathon and a relay. It's fun. Yeah, it's our fun. It's not a big race. It's a little thing down here. So I did that.
500 people?
Yeah,
that's
it's great. It's
awesome.
great. We have a great race and it's a good show and it's a lot of fun. And the coolest thing is we get a lot of first time marathoners, like a lot of first time 50 milers. Like I said, they're my favorite people
Yeah.
because they're one, they have no idea what they're getting into. And
That's right.
yeah, but you just you see how much they've worked for it. You see how hard. And so that's really a lot of fun. But yeah, so I started doing 50s and then signing up for the trail races, and I ended up doing Brazos Bend 100-miler, maybe 2018, and then I've done 24-hour races and stuff like that, and in fact, my daughter, my 15-year-old, and I did a 24-hour one in Fort Worth this summer, and
Wow.
her plan was just like to run a few miles every hour and then rest overnight.
Yeah.
This 15-year-old, she's awesome. She put in a 50K.
Wow.
It was a 24-hour race, but she was like, Dad, I felt good. So I'm just going to go out for another lap. And so there you go. It was really cool to run
That's
with her.
amazing, dude. I love that you've influenced her to enjoy running and going out and do that. That's pretty cool. I've got a 15-year-old son and he kind of likes running. He's more into band. He just started,
Yeah.
he's a freshman and goes to Roy City, and the guy's
Yeah.
obsessed with band, percussions specifically. And he's amazing. Like, it's really cool to see. But it's cool to watch your kids grow and see them do cool things.
She called me today. She said, Dad, I heard about this race in Bandera and they have a 25K in January. And now she does not like cross country. She did cross country this year, but she doesn't like waking up early. She doesn't like running really hard for a short period of time.
It's hard.
She loves the idea of going for a long casual ride. And so I said, well, come. She's out of town right now with her friend. And I said, come home. We'll talk about it. She'll be
Yeah.
home tomorrow. And it's, there's
That race has
percussion.
been around
it's
for a long
running.
time. So,
Yeah. Man, it's an awesome race. I love Bandera. It's such a cool trail.
do you know Rob Goyen?
Yeah. He had Tejas trails.
He used to, yeah.
Yes.
Trot. So
Trot.
Texas.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
was
used
the
to own
race
Trot.
director
He
when I
sold it.
did Brazos.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Man,
He's not
he was
anymore.
a great race director.
And now he's back. So he started a new company. Yeah. Right now it's in Houston and things like that. So we'll see if he ever decides to expand back to DFW and stuff like that. But like Chris and Ann do, they're from Blaze Trails. And so they're the ones
Yeah.
that do a lot of the local stuff. And then so does, what's her name? Abby? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know who you're
forgot.
talking about.
But anyways, so there's a lot of good
There's so
trails
many
out
good
here. And
around.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's awesome, man. Have you ever done a 100-mile or anything yet?
I did the Brazos Bend 100-miler, and then that's it, 100-miler. And my 24-hour in July in Texas, I got 91 miles, and it's still,
Wow.
both of my daughters still give me a hard time because I told them I was going to do 100. They're like, oh, Dad, you didn't do it.
That's true.
That's right. They keep giving me a hard time on that. So no, just the 100-miler. I don't, and it kicked my butt.
Yeah.
It worked out well, and I enjoyed the experience, but I think I like the 100K and the 50 milers more. You actually get to sleep the night after the race instead of keep running.
Yeah, it's hard to stay up all night. My wife's she attempted 100-miler Rocky Raccoon, and I think she got 75 miles or something. And she was like, I'm done. But then she did the Arkansas Traveler, 100-miler, and she finished that one. And I don't think she's interested in doing these again. Again, I do running, but I'm not like her.
Yeah.
Or
You need to get on the World Marathon or the Great World Race. The Great World Race, and just have her go to all the continents.
she might like that. She might.
And she'll
Right
eat
now
it up.
she's into weightlifting and stuff. We turned
Yeah.
50, or she turned 50 a year ago or two. And then now she's just big time into weightlifting. She does marathon still, but not as much. So she's pivoted a little bit. So we'll see. Hopefully she keeps it going just for the Boston thing. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
then something happened. How long have you been with part of the Dallas Marathon, White Rock Marathon?
So I have been on the board. This is, I guess, my second full year on the board. I believe that's right. I was on the auxiliary board for a year, like what's they call the, I don't know, the suggestion board. They have a better name than that. And Marcus is going to listen to this. But
I think he's too old to listen to podcasts, but I don't know.
But they had the advisory board. That's what it's called. So they had me on
Got
the
it.
advisory board, and that was really cool because you just get to be a part of it and to speak into items. And then
Is that kind of like a try before you buy? Then maybe we'll ask
I
him to be
think
on
they
the...
try before you buy. And the fact that they bought in this situation is a little surprising, but I'll take it. And yeah, so now I've been on the regular board. I guess this is my second full year.
What is that? What do you do on the board? I don't even know what somebody on the board
Yeah.
does.
Really, we have meetings. I won't say quarterly or monthly. It just depends upon when they're needed. As we come up to the race, we're meeting a little more often right now.
Sure.
I think we do a couple of things. We can serve as someone, like in my situation where I help head up the elite program, actually do take something off of their plate. Like I'm able to take that off of Marcus and Jason and Jody's plate and Haley and Patty and just take that from them. I think other roles on the board is that we've got Ken on the board that handles getting volunteers and he's phenomenal at.
Nice.
And that's a lot of work. We have
Mm,
others on the board that are really good at just knowing people in the community and they're able to help connect people with sponsorships, or we may have an attorney that can help read legal documents. And they really, I mean,
makes sense.
our job is to serve as just an extra set of minds on the board that can be an oversight team for the employees and just to make sure that the race is protected, make sure that Marcus and Jason and the team have thought through everything in the right way and we're able to have ideas bounced off of us. And then really, hopefully we're serving them.
Yeah.
My job, the way I look at it, is to serve the staff because they know what they're doing. They know how to put on a race better than I do. If they say, hey, Paul, can you do this? I just need to find the best way to do that.
I love that. And I think it sounds like there's lots of really expertise in certain areas that's needed for a race, the Dallas Marathon. So that's pretty cool.
If you get a board full of runners, you'll have a cool runner experience, but you'll mess some other stuff up. And if you get a board full of people that don't know running, the runner experience is going to be horrible, but you may have a
Yeah.
ton of sponsors. And there's got to be a great balance between the two. I think most on the Dallas board have been or are runners, but they're also ones that have a lot of world experience in other areas. So that's a really cool balance between.
I like that. That's pretty cool. So now you mentioned that you're leading up the elite group. Tell me all about that, because the first time I
Yeah.
heard about it was when I was talking to Marcus and Jody, and I was like, I didn't know that you guys were doing this.
Yeah. So it's one of those where a few years ago, I got a call from Charles Payton, and Charles was the president of the Dallas Marathon board before Logan. And
Okay.
Charles is a good buddy of mine. He just said, hey, would you want to run in the elite group at the Dallas Marathon? I'm like, yeah, I want to run in the elite group at the Dallas Marathon. That'd be incredible. And hey, you've heard my time. I'm nowhere even remotely close to being able to run with the guys like Brent Woodle and some of these other guys, but it was
Sure.
really fun to line up with them. And I had come all in. I didn't even see the front runner. It was just gone.
Exactly.
But it was really cool to line up with them.
Awesome.
So that's when I first learned about it. And then when I got on the advisory board, Logan asked if I'd help him on the morning of the Dallas Marathon, be over there. And then after Logan stepped in the president role, they asked if I would take on the elite roles for Logan. Yeah, really, our goal is to bring out some of the fastest and the best runners in the DFW area and
Yep.
not just the DFW area, but from around the country and even, if possible, around the globe to come in and run what is one of the fastest growing marathons in the world. And we don't pay for our elite runners, for our winners,
Yep.
but I would say Dallas Marathon's become a big enough name that it's gotten a lot of accolades. And so we get some really just phenomenal speed to show up, and it's fun to put together.
Who's showing up this year? What does that look like? Because isn't there some kind of special thing going on, or?
Yeah, you get a lot of the same local names that we've had in the past that are not just fast, like they're crazy fast. People like Mimi Smith. Mimi
Yep.
is not just elite, she's above elite. And then we've got a couple of guys like that are coming back that we've missed, like Joseph Hill, who's won a couple of times in the past. Of course, we have
Oh, he's
Brent
coming
Little
back.
coming. Yeah, he's coming back and racing again. And to me, that's really exciting. We have one guy that I have not met face to face, but from what I understand, he's supposed to be one of our top 1, 2, 3 guys coming in. And I'm going to say the name, and then I'm going to get an email because I say the name wrong. So y'all just forgive me now. But his name is Craig. Let's see. I know that his dad was a big time. Craig Lottendlager. He
Okay.
lives down in New Zealand, but his family's from here.
Wow.
And evidently he's exceptionally fast. His family is a big running family. I think his dad wrote for maybe like the Dallas Morning News, wrote a lot of them. And so,
Nice.
and that's on the men's side. On the women's side, we've got a very small elite field for our women's marathon. That's probably my biggest disappointment right now. We've just had a number of them have to drop out because of injuries, but we still have some good fast women coming in. But our women's half, people like Jillian Wolf and Karen Hall, we've got some really quick speed coming in.
Yeah, I know Jill. Who was the second one you said?
Kaylin Hall.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know if
Yeah. I
but
think I know her. I think I've seen her on Instagram or something like that, but I
she
don't
lives
know her.
west. I'm got to think for a minute. Abilene, Midland, or just somewhere. She lives out
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
But she's been with us before. She's run with
Okay.
us for a number of times, and she's married to a guy named Carlos, who's real quick as well. He'll run with our elite program, and yeah,
A lot of the fast runners that are becoming faster and faster in Dallas, anyways, the slots, they're not going to be running. Most of them are running like, what is it? How come I can't think of it? It's the one in Sacramento. But, anyways,
CIM,
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah, one of those.
California, yep,
Yeah, yeah,
international.
that's right.
One thing I know is we're always going to have a race to compete with, right?
Yeah, always.
And I kind of look at it, and I really think Dallas does a good job of saying we're not CIM, we're not trying to be CIM, but we are the Dallas Marathon. And what does that mean? It means we're going to put on a race that is runner friendly, that is going to be an ultimate runner experience. And I love that. And I love the fact, Chris, that it's not just like this super fast downhill course. It's
Yeah.
also not a super slow course at all, but it's a technical course. And I love a technical course. Like the best runners are the ones that are going to have done their homework beforehand.
Well, there's almost 30,000 people that run this, just a
Yeah,
marathon. So doing something right.
it's working out. And it's such a cool vibe out there. It's such a cool vibe. And
Yeah, I
they
mean,
keep
I would
doing
tell you,
little
I,
things.
I told Marcus this and probably not as bluntly, but I remember at first, like, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 years, 14 years ago, whatever, I ran it the first time and it was okay. It was not, but it wasn't like, oh man, this is amazing. But I would say in the last 5 to 7 years, I don't know, something's changed. And it's a pretty great course. The course, I know, changes a little bit, but it's a great atmosphere, great vibe, great people. And more people continue to come to it. And now, the last 2 years, it sells out like crazy. And this year, it sold out crazier than ever because you guys are doing something right, obviously. So,
I'll give a lot of props to the team they put together. There's a team of 5 that now work for the Dallas Marathon, and they're not just good, they're extremely intelligent when it comes to racing
obviously.
and putting on a race. People like Jody Jordan, who knows the operations of as good or better than anyone. Marcus, who, how do you want to put Marcus? He's like he's the brains behind the operation of race day, of what that looks like and how we're going to run things. Jason is just the ideal president to run the organization because he looks at it from a race perspective, but he also understands the community perspective,
Yeah.
and he'll bring up things that I don't think the rest of us even imagine bringing up. And then Haley and Patty bringing in the social atmosphere. It's an incredible team.
I love it. And only 5 people run it in a sense, like are paid to do it. And
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. And the cause is good. Look, I'm running a half marathon again, and my wife and I are
Come on.
we're going to be on that first day on like Friday. She's going to be at giving away the bibs, and I'll be giving away shirts and stuff like that. So it should be fun.
I'll be up there. And I can't say a name until Jason or Marcus, someone says it, but we do have an elite female running the half this year that could be pretty darn exciting as well. I think we'll compete with some of our top elites and really push them. I'd say get excited. It's going to be, I didn't even talk about, we got the NAIA runners
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. That's what
And
I'm saying.
God, we're going to have 100 extra or 120 extra elites that are going to push. And Chris, they're college
That's what I
runners.
was
So,
trying to get you
some
to
of them are
talk
going to
about.
take off
Like,
like, oh, no. Some of these guys are going to take off so fast and just fall apart. Some of them are going to take off and hold it together. And I love college runners because you just never quite know what you're going to get. But man, what a cool experience to have them up front with us.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. So you guys are going to have a special start for them, right? And then you start the next. Is it the first time
So we're going to
or that you
start.
guys have done this? Go ahead.
We're going to start the elite wave. So all of our regular elites plus the NAIA right at 2 minutes before Corral A. We did this. I don't know how many years they did it, but I know they did it like 5 years ago or so.
Okay.
They would do it this way. And then they stopped. We do give them their own corral. So like we walk them to the front and things like that. But this year, let's start up. It's such a big group. You're talking somewhere around 175 total elites. We need to start them about 2 minutes separate of Corral A, just more or less from a safety standpoint.
And is this both marathon and half that they're running, or is it specific to a
The
race?
elites will be both marathon and half, but NAIA is all marathon.
Okay.
When we think about the total elite group, it's going to be practically 130, 140 marathoners and like 30 half marathoners.
So how are you
and
feeling?
5 or
Good.
6.
Do you think that the record? I don't know what the record is for Dallas Marathon. Is that a possibility of being beat this year? You think?
I do think it's a possibility. We've got some speed coming in this year. So much, hey, is it a 75-degree day? Is it a
Yeah.
rainy and 20-degree day? We have a good weather day. Looking at some of the times that NAIA has put up, looking at some of the times of our elite marathoners, you're talking about the guys who are running 103, 104 halves.
Yeah.
And that's quick, man. That's quick enough that I'd be surprised if we don't break it on a good weather day.
Because all these folks are marathoners, right? From the NAI, is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yep.
yeah. So that'll be interesting. Do you know? Do you remember the course record? You don't have to know it.
No, now I'm gonna have to go look though. No, I can make it up. No, I'm not even gonna try. No, I don't know what it is, but now I'm gonna look it up because I want to make sure we break that this year. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
I was.
and
Good.
I'm just thinking like we're gonna have an elite meeting the day before. I need to make sure I throw that out there to them.
I
Hey,
would.
just so you know, this is what it
These
is.
guys are competitive. They want to beat you. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Put that in there.
I think the last couple of years, last year I had a guy who
Got us down.
one of the long was his first, this is his first marathon for crying out loud. And he was a young guy. In fact, he was signed back up again this year, dealing with some injuries and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to
I
him.
think it's
He
gonna be
was one of the
soon.
first guys I talked to on the podcast.
Is
You
that
know,
right? Okay,
after
now I'm
the
gonna
Dallas
go back and
Marathon.
listen to the original ones. Okay.
Yeah, go listen to it. Yeah, it's really good.
Neat guy. Nice
The
guy.
guy is just super kind and just, I don't know why I was doing it, but he's calling me sir and stuff. And I was like, hey, man, we don't. I know I'm older, but let's not.
I forget how young he was, but I know he was like in medical school at, I think
Yeah.
UT Southwestern or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
And I remember the president of Scottish Rite coming over and talking to him like after the race, hey, when you finish medical school, make sure you give us a call or something like that. I thought that's pretty cool for Travis to at least even have that relationship or to be able to meet that person, the president of the board of Scottish Rite. So,
That is,
yeah, Travis is a neat guy, and what a race! Just an incredible race last year.
yeah, it was incredible. And he just, I guess not to get too deep into it, he's been running in college and things like that. So he's already running 70 miles a week. And he goes, why not just train for a marathon? And he just absolutely killed it. His first marathon hitting 2:26. And I thought, the sky's the limit for him. And still is, but
Yeah.
he get a little injured and he's in medical school. So, he's got a lot going on.
I'd love to be able to run his bad times any day of the week.
Exactly. Darn, I ran at 2:32. That's terrible.
Exactly. We'll be really upset about it.
Well,
That's a whole other level.
I look forward to seeing what the guys and gals do this year. It'd be fun to watch, and I'll make sure to interview some of those folks after.
And I think our hope is to put on such a great show for the NAIA that they don't even question coming back. We really think this could be a cool partnership. Hey, we also actually restarted up I think it's I might say it wrong again, but Sendai, Japan partnership or
I heard about
runners
that.
there. So we got 2 Japanese runners coming in, one running the marathon and one running the half, 2 men. I'm really excited to see, and I don't know anything about them. I don't have their times,
Yeah.
but they're in the elite group, and I'm just going to guess your country doesn't send you all this way if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm excited to see what those guys can do. And also just excited to put on a cool experience for them. What can we do to show them the love and the care of DFW?
Now, do they come in and get their bibs like Friday or Saturday, or do you just kind of do something special for them and say, hey, here's the stuff. Don't worry about it. What's the treatment like?
Yeah, last year we'd have them go up to the timer himself, get their bibs from him, make sure we have it all set up. We have little goodie packages for our elites, things like that. We really want them to feel loved and cared for. This year, changing it up a little bit, we're actually having a meeting at the convention center the day before the race. With there being closer to 150 this year,
Yeah.
there's more logistics, everything from the warm-up area before the race. We're having to extend it and make it bigger, trying to get them porta potties before the race, and all the things that you just need to make sure are available. Also, make sure that your elite runners really do feel like that they're appreciated. We'll have a meeting before the race. We'll hand out bibs at that time and do some introductions at that time.
Paul, did I miss anything? Is there something that you're like, Chris, you should have asked this thing when you didn't, that I should have?
Man, I get talked. I don't know. I just keep going and keep going. But no, man, this has been great. This is fun. I could talk running all day. I feel like you could too. I'm really excited. We're just a few weeks away from this.
We're just a few weeks away from the Dallas Marathon. I think it's amazing, man. I think what you're doing and what you've accomplished just in your just running kind of journey is pretty awesome and pretty fun, and exciting. Like you keep it going and keep it exciting. The stuff that you're doing for not just Dallas Marathon, which is really cool, but this race that you do in Waxahatchee, the 50 miler,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
500
Hatchie
people
50.
showing up for the last 10 years. That's crazy. That's awesome. Plus these
Yeah.
7
We have a
marathons,
good
7
time.
days, 7 continents, plus whatever the hell you've done, man. It's like amazing.
Running is my way to adventure. And if I could
Yeah.
encourage anyone, it would be, hey, go out and find your adventure, whether that's 1 mile through your neighborhood or a hike up a mountain or a running a trail, but go out and find your adventure. It's too beautiful of a world and too many great people out there to not go out there and meet a few of them. So I can't wait to meet hopefully about 30,000 of my closest friends here in a few weeks at the Dallas Marathon.
Exactly. Paul,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on to DFW Running Talk. I had a ton of fun. So everyone, thanks for tuning in and listening. So make sure you go to dfwrunningtalk.substack.com and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get all the goodies there. And then, Paul, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you having me.